Hello, everyone. Welcome to Spiritual Sunshine. Today, we're diving into what it means to stay present, letting go of worry about the future, about how the world's going, and yet staying engaged, staying aware enough and active enough to make a difference if we can. It's an interesting thing that Christ was so adamant about staying in the present moment. He wasn't the only one. The Buddha, Padmasambhava, many Buddhist teachers, sages from across traditions, from Hinduism to Judaism, talk a lot about the need to stay here, to stay right here. And we have such trouble doing that, don't we? We have such trouble just saying, I am in this moment, and I'm not going to take my mind in the future and worry. it's easier said than done staying present. And yet often what we find, the things that we're worried about can actually bring greater presence if we're willing to tackle how they're affecting us now, instead of moping in the story about what could happen with them. I don't know about you, but if I turn to my body right now, I can feel a certain level of peace, of course, but also anxiety, also anticipation, maybe desire. And yet, the more I am willing to see those things, and instead of following the story, just noticing where I'm at, the more they seem to dissipate. It's kind of miraculous, actually. Often, instead of just coming and seeing how we are now, we instead project how we might be because of this story that we're carrying. Or we dive into the story and what could go wrong, and that builds up greater anxiety and fear. Today, I think a lot of us could do with just a breather from our own minds. So today, let's just take those breaths, allowing ourselves to notice that we're here. You're good. You're all right. Whatever is going on, whatever mistakes you've made, whatever mistakes others have made, you're here. You're present. You don't have to worry so much. Your journey will continue. You'll never wake up and be gone, by definition. I mean, you might be somewhere else, but every moment you're aware. So you don't have to worry about death. Might be an interesting ride. Could be painful. Who knows? You might leave people behind you'll miss, yes. But it is part of life. Something that we have to see in ourselves now. See that anxiety as it's present now, that fear of whatever it is. Perhaps it's some situation at work, or a lawsuit, or maybe you're in a car crash right now. You're listening to me on a podcast and you're wondering, okay, what do I got to do? I got to get my insurance. But whatever it is, stay present to how you feel. And you'll notice that it goes way better than you thought. Instead of jumping into the story, no matter how accurate your forecasting abilities are, instead of doing that, stay present with yourself. Just give yourself that handhold, that hug. Give your mind just that peace of, you know what, I'm anxious maybe, but I'm not going to go into the story that makes me more anxious. Like Christ said, don't worry about the morrow, and stop diving into all these stories and addictions all the time, just yearning for something that's not happening now. No, he said turn to that heaven that's within us. He said heaven's within us. How awesome is that? He didn't say heaven's within Christians. He didn't say heaven's within those who believe I'll die on the cross, or I've died on the cross and come back. No, he said heaven is within all of you. And so today, let us just notice that the peace of heaven, which is the first one of the first things we'll encounter when we turn is always here, actually. It's just what we are, because it's the light of heaven. It's what illuminates the mind, peace. How do we have an earth and people walking around? Well, it takes space. It takes spaciousness to have objects, to allow light to come in, to allow heat to dissipate, and to allow all this energy to grow into beautiful things. All those things are an image of the peace of God and how God's life, God's truth, and God's love come down from God and make everything what it is. You can call God anything you want. The universe, call it love, call him Jehovah, you can call her Goddess, or many other names. But really the core of the tale is the same in most traditions, and it's something we lose. That God is here, is present, is loving, and is willing to give all of that to us. Indeed, that is our consciousness. That is our peace already. We just miss it for the story that we tell ourselves about how things are going so bad today with whoever's in charge in whatever role we're thinking of. Things are not living up to what they should be, given what they were before, or what I know now, or what we know. And yet, even those things, those stilted approaches, will serve a purpose, as we learned from many of our sages, including one of my favorites, Emanuel Swedenborg, who says that all things in existence must be used for the good of the universe, of the whole, eventually, for the growth of heavenliness, eventually. Evil, which is the lack of love, made manifest. Just a lack, not a something. It's just a lack, kind of like falling back into disintegration or rock. You know, that's destruction, right? Pulling things apart, they disintegrate. That is just a lack. And really, when we look at it from a place of peace, we notice that even in our own lives, it's been used for good. We've learned how to live more vibrantly because we were scared. We've learned how to take better care of ourselves because something went wrong with whatever, our processes of driving, of cleaning, of whatever it is for each of us. We've learned in a multitude of ways, and often it was the tough times that we learned, I got to do this better. You know, someone told us, you have bad teeth, or your gums are, showing signs of whatever, you got to do better, right? And we learn. And often it takes even more than just someone telling us. It's actually that coming home to roost a little, where we're realizing, I can be more present with this, and I should be. And if we ride that wave of those fears, those anxieties in the present moment, allowing us to be more engaged, we may notice we have a lot of energy, right? Because instead of using it to tell a future story, we're present with our anxieties today. And maybe there's a little future story in there because you got to plan some things, right? Especially when it comes to tough stuff. But we're present now, and that allows us to be motivated to do better, to be present, to find love in the moment, to appreciate life, to appreciate the joy around us. Yes, our fear and anxiety, as we come into this moment, instead of worrying about the future as much, presenting it now to ourselves, seeing it as it is, can motivate greater peace and joy. So allow that for yourself today. Allow yourself to see that, in a way, the pressures in my mind, if I'm really present to them, can help me appreciate the fact that I'm here at all. Can help me appreciate that I have the level of peace that I do have. It's like, okay, that's anxiety, but okay, here's some peace, right? I'm seeing it from a place of peace. Might be in it sometimes, but even now, because I'm trying not to follow too many stories, I can see the peace that this thing arises in, that spaciousness that allows trauma, allows love, allows sadness, allows joy, allows grief, allows peace itself to be present, allows peace to reign even amidst any of that, because that's what we are. That's the light of God. That's why they called Jesus the Prince of Peace, right? And within that is that love and light that invigorates us, that truth of shining wisdom that we have at our core already. As Jesus said, heaven is within us. And that allows us to see things from a new light when we're willing to just settle into that heavenliness that sees what we're dealing with, that heavenly light that is consciousness itself. So yes, consciousness is that light. And I know you have it no matter what you're up to or what you've gone through. And so allow yourself to see that, other beings are in effect the same. Heavenly light shining on a mind that maybe sometimes isn't the healthiest. Some people, we all have some bad habits. Some people have worse ones than others, often due to trauma in our past. But the more we're willing to see this shared light, the less we need to control, condemn, hurt, whatever it is, other people. Because we realize they're already here in the peace of spiritual sunshine. So thank you for joining me today, and I hope you can go forth knowing, really knowing, that you are always in this moment. You can't escape it. And so you always have the peace of presence. We just trick ourselves into thinking we don't. And whatever you're going through, it can be leveraged. You can use it as energy to love further, to live higher, and to essentially approach each day in the light and love of Christ.